Has this ever happened to you? Even if it hasn't, it's a real and dangerous threat, and its name is spam. I'm sure you've seen it before. You're sitting at your desk grading Billy's thesis when all of a sudden you hear it. An email. No problem, it's probably just a student checking in about an absence. You don't recognize the sender, but what's the big deal? You have 100 students with 100 potential emails. It's probably perfectly fine. So, you open it. You think to yourself, RAM, that sounds like something to do with my computer. I bet I need more of it, for free, too. You look at the link. It's from YouTube. You know YouTube. You trust YouTube. YouTube has been your friend on those long winter nights of grading, watching cat videos as you pour through the piles and piles and piles of final papers, and you just needed a break from all those papers. Anyways, it's from a website you know, so you deem it safe to open. You click on the link and chaos. This is a very simple example of spam. Spam is defined as the practice of sending emails to large numbers of people on the internet, especially when those are not wanted. Who makes spam and why? The purpose of spam is to obtain email credentials, personal information, or passwords. This information is then sold or used to hack the victim. In the case of an ASD hack, not only is your information at risk, but student information as well. So, Sheldon, could you give us a little bit more detail? Spam is a very general term.
Right. So, spam generally comes in two forms. Firstly, there's Trojans. Trojans are essentially files that are hidden and usually email attachments that contain a lot of malicious code, generally that install a virus onto your computer that either corrupt or steals your data.
All right. And what is the other area of spam?
The second largest issue is generally called a phisher. Now, a phisher is pretty much an email that seems to be legitimate, but isn't exactly. It comes from a person that the receiver knows and trusts, that they like, that they understand, that they're okay with receiving emails from. Basically, it's an attempt to gather work-related, financial, or personal information from the recipient.
Why is it called a phisher email?
Generally because the person who sends the email is essentially phishing for data into the interpool of webs.
Unfortunately, spam doesn't come waving a red flag or wearing a name tag. Spam is spread mainly via attachments. These emails can and sometimes will be sent from an infected internal source within the district, posing as your boss, the head of the IT department, or the superintendent themselves. When one person is infected, it can immediately spread to all of their contacts, furthering the virus.
If a hacker is able to infiltrate your email through a link or attachment, then they're able to infect more employees, obtaining more personal and ASD information. If this occurs, your computer and email account can be filled with an overabundance of unwanted emails. It can slow down your internet speed, it can compromise contact information, and even go as far as to alter your results on the search engine. Incoming spam can also carry malignant data for illicit activities.
So, what do you do when you receive a suspicious email? Do you delete your account, smash your computer to pieces, and move to Peru in hopes of creating a new identity free of spam? If it's so unavoidable, why don't we just revert back to using messenger pigeons for all of our mail? Luckily, we don't need to do this quite yet. There is actually a plethora of resources at our disposal. The easiest way to determine if an email is spam is to follow this simple rule. Don't open the attachment or link unless you're specifically expecting it and you're familiar with the sender. If you ever think you have received a spam email, or even if you're unsure, contact ASD's IT department or the help desk immediately. Also, don't be afraid to just delete. The administration, or anyone important for that matter, will never make such requests by email. If you're at all ever unsure, just ask. Use the resources provided and common sense to prevent spam from infiltrating ASD's server. It's just like what you've taught students for years. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask for help. After all, there's no such thing as a stupid question. You should never provide the following information when requested via email.